and welcome to this very exciting episode. I say it's exciting because we just had crazy technical dramas. It looked like it was going to be delayed. It looked like it might not happen at all. But look at this once again. Tommy Toy Travels has come through, saved the day. And as a result, we can bring this week's episode to you. So, of course, talking of the Boston boy himself, Tommy Toy Travels, how are you?
Hello, everybody. I am doing well, as usual. Hoping you're doing well, too. Days and all.
Yes. Well, I'm doing all right. I mean, we always, for those that haven't joined the podcast in the past, we do have a slight history of technical difficulties. And I always find with this podcast that something different tends to break just before we're about to go live. So I always seem to start these podcasts in like a blind panic. And I should imagine it doesn't paint a great picture of me. Like every single episode you click on, I'm like, hi guys, how you doing? Right, yes, welcome to... It's because moments before I'm like sweating buckets, like just desperately trying to get the show on the road. So yes, but we are on the road and we are underway. So Tommy, how's your week been? What have you been up to? Have you had any more DNA tests or?
No. I don't know. I feel like I've let down the fans wanting me to talk about my crazy life, my crazy lifestyle. It's been very, very normal. Black Friday happened though.
Yes. Did you get anything for Black Friday?
Oh, of course. I chilled out and got Hulu because you know what's on Hulu. Raw replays.
Oh, hang on. Look, I'm trying to... I told you I start everything in a blind panic. I'm trying to send a tweet out to let people know that we're live. But talking of like TV things like that, do you know what I found? You know what I found? The Bachelorette. I found it here in the UK, so I can watch it.
What time?
Well, I can't. I don't know when it's actually on, like live, if you will. But I found it on like a catch-up service. Okay. So I was just going through this app. It's called Now TV here in the UK, and it recommended it for me, and I was like, of course it did. Of course it did. So I found The Bachelorette. So I gotta be honest,
what I'm talking about.
There was a few moments, Tommy, where I was sat there, and this is a real insight into my life. There's a few moments whereby I think I'd just done like a pretty long stream, managed to like do what I need to do, got upstairs, got to bed, and I always like to watch something when I'm in bed, like, you know, half an hour, whatever, little thing, and then I fall asleep. Normally with it still playing, and I've gone, right? And there was a real moment where I sat there, and my finger was hovering over episode 1 of The Bachelorette, and I was like, oh, should I? Shouldn't I? But it's like, it's so long, isn't it? It's so long. It's not easily digestible.
No, and it's a big commitment, just like wrestling.
And how is it going on the show?
Raw, I didn't
No, not forget Raw. This isn't a wrestling podcast. Everyone knows they come here for Bachelorette news. How's Bachelorette going?
Last episode was a little of a snoozer.
Oh.
I'm hoping things pick up tonight. There was some drama in the house, of course. But tonight we're going to really see if that drama picks up or what happens. So
okay,
I'm sure everyone's interested.
Well, what is the drama?
Oh, someone's saying people are stirring up poodoo, but there's no poodoo being stirred up other than the person saying people are stirring up that poodoo.
Can I also just say I've spilt my coffee as well? Literally just spilt my coffee. So that's another, add that in. So right now I'm actually here going, what's poodoo? But as I'm saying this, I'm like desperately trying to clear. I'm like scanning around for something that I can wipe this with. So why don't you inform the audience what poodoo is whilst I just, you know.
I think it's a Star Wars term for excrement, feces.
Okay.
Days, why don't you just take off your shirt and use that?
I'm onto you. I'm onto you. I know your game.
We'll get those AEW views again.
Okay, so there's lots of drama going on then on Batch. I can't imagine it's more drama than what we've got going on here right now.
Oh, Absolutely not. No, no.
I
We're top tier drama.
Yeah, I should imagine that the Bachelorette producers probably watch this podcast to find out what the good, tasty drama is, and then they use it in the show.
They certainly steal from us, I can tell.
Talking of drama, Tommy, did you see that, or even hear that one of Retribution was unmasked? Did you hear this news?
I'll tell you this, Days. I told you I got Hulu. I was really excited to watch Raw, but I didn't. Instead, I just watched Love Island. And now that it's Tuesday, I looked at the thumbnail of this video and I was like, what? What happened? So if you could please let me know what happened, that would be great, because I didn't see this on any of the websites I go to.
Well, first of all, I feel bad because you was telling that Hulu story, wasn't you? But then the coffee thing happened, and my
the Hulu story was no story. There was no story there. This is the real story.
But is that all you got for Black Friday? Because I got nothing. I've got nothing on this subject, Tommy.
That's basically it, I think.
Basically it. And why did you get Hulu? Was it specifically for one thing?
No.
Okay. Good story.
Yeah, thanks.
So
I'm really loving to give the details to our audience.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but I feel we've totally explored every aspect of that story. But in regards to Retribution, so Mia Yim, as we think it's Mia Yim now, we're not sure, but her Retribution name is Reckoning. She actually attacked Dana Brooke, and this was a few weeks ago. And so, as a result, there was a match made for this week. They started competing, and like literally near the start of the match, the mask falls off and exposes what looks to be Mia Yim. Now, there's a reason why I'm saying this, because obviously my first reaction was, oh my god, it's Mia Yim. I can't believe that's Mia Yim. Yeah, I thought it was hysterical. I thought I was a comedy genius. I thought, this is, no one else will be doing this. This is quality original content. Me making out, pretending that I'm shocked that that's actually Mia Yim. I was like,
this is your audition for your Comedy Central or Netflix stand-up.
Yeah, I mean, you can imagine. I was like, I've made it. I have made it to the big time. It takes a certain comedic genius to kind of think of that level. And so really I was exploring quite a bit of that aspect during the watch-along. So you can imagine my disappointment when I went onto Twitter and it turns out literally everyone else in the world had said the exact same thing. So it turns out I'm not as much of a comedy genius as what I thought, but
it's a conspiracy by NXIVM, maybe even Scientology, whoever has time travel.
They've always had it in for me. Yeah. But if at first you don't succeed, try again, Tommy.
Oh,
right?
Of course.
Try again. So what I did was I did a bit of digging around. I did a little bit of super sleuthing, because I thought, okay, world, you've one-upped me. I'm going to poke you right back in the eye. So what I did was I went to Mia Yim's Twitter bio, okay? Went to Mia Yim's Twitter bio, and on Mia Yim's Twitter bio, it actually says at the top that she's got, I think it's worded something like, evil twin sister reckoning. So, what I have deduced was that was not Mia Yim that was exposed last night, Tommy. That was her evil twin sister. Evil twin sister.
This is heavy. Is this real? Or is Mia Yim the evil twin sister and Reckoning's the good one?
Wow. I didn't know. I didn't think about that. So
are we going to have a Reckoning Mia Yim?
Well, I mean, look, clearly this is storyline and Mia Yim doesn't have a twin sister. But I did think it was quite interesting that she's already explained, or at least put something out there to explain that isn't her.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of like, that's kind of interesting. Is that a story that they could tell? Don't know. You'd have to ask the question of where's Mia Yim then?
Yeah.
And you could do some editing to have them both on the screen at the same. That's easy. You could easily have them come face to face backstage. So, and what with no crowd around at the moment, you could easily do it. Also, they could both be in the Royal Rumble as well.
Yes.
So I think there's a storyline here. So, whilst the world is running around saying, "Oh, I can't believe it. It was Mia Yim," which is exactly what I was doing last night. We're now playing a different game. The world is playing checkers. We're playing Yahtzee. Yeah,
of course.
So, boom.
Of course. Yeah.
And that's true, by the way. That is true. That actually says that
we're playing Yahtzee.
That is true. Yeah, I'm doing that as well, which is
okay.
Further explains why I'm in a blind panic.
Wow.
So yeah, her mask came off, but then Ali said, because she ended up losing, right? And Ali was like, "We don't have failure here."
Speaking of not having failure, sorry to cut you off. We only had one new review on Apple Podcast.
Can I just say that when you told me that, I had a tiny bit of coffee in my mouth. I would, if I'd have had more, I would have spat that out then.
Yeah.
I would have done that. I would have done that for the podcast, but I didn't have enough coffee in my mouth.
Yeah, we'll get to it later, the one review, but I'm just saying, a whole 7 days to write a response, especially after the episode where we had that spooky voice that no one knows exactly what they were saying other than water.
Oh my God, yeah, I forgot about that. Can I tell you, right? Can I tell you, last week's episode, a couple of weeks ago, we did an episode. I mean, we're super popular, so, this is going to sound a little bit strange. I think analytics on Apple Podcasts say that there's roughly about 1 million people that listen to us each week. I haven't seen the latest numbers, but it's around about 1 million. And for some reason, if you look on YouTube, it tends to be around about 700, which is quite a difference. It is quite a difference. So it is a little bit strange. But a couple of weeks ago, we got about 2,000 people watching, and that was incredible. And I thought we was going to struggle to kind of get anywhere near that level again. And then last week, 1,600 people. 1,600.
All we did was talk about The Bachelorette.
Yeah. There was nothing. 1,600, which was incredible, right? So, because there's quite a few people that joined us last week, last Tuesday night, I got inundated with people playing that clip. I had people sending me the clip. I had people sending me the clip with text written on that had what was actually being said, right? One of the things, Tommy, right, and this is straight up true, yeah? One of the descriptions said something like, "I'm going to hurt the English. Go get the water." It was something along those lines. So there is very much a conspiracy on this podcast against the English, which aren't you part of the English now?
Yeah.
Oh
23andMe.
They're coming for both of us.
Yeah,
they're probably going to try and drown Major Clickbaiter as well behind you.
Yeah, right there. Yeah,
I think
terrible.
He's English as well.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. So I've got no idea where that voice came from. I've got I genuinely had no other windows open. I had nothing else open this end. So I have got no idea what that was. I still don't know. But it was crazy.
Because I didn't hear it at all until I listened back.
And you heard it back, yeah?
Yeah, but doing it live, I heard nothing.
Wow.
I just heard you going, "You hear that? You hear that?" But I didn't hear anything.
I mean, it is fascinating to listen to this podcast join us live. I mean, it's literally one guy going, "Can you hear that? Can you hear something?" I can hear something. I can hear something that sounds quite entertaining. And it's not this podcast.
It's Jerry's mom saying water.
So yeah, that was madness. That was madness. Right, I've got quite a few like wrestling notes and things along those lines. But what have you been watching this week then? If you've not been watching much wrestling,
watching Dark, but I got through one match and then I was like, I can't do this for 2 hours. I'm not getting any younger. If I only have 2 hours a week to spend on television, I'm gonna spend it on The Bachelorette.
Yeah, it's fair enough. Is that like the one big show that you look forward to each week?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Did you also speak to your friends about getting them onto your channel or jumping them onto this channel?
A live watch along?
You flipping know that is what these people want.
Could you imagine if I changed my YouTube channel to a Bachelor channel just like overnight and then everyone would be like, what's this? What's this?
Tommy, yes. I can imagine that because that is pretty much what you already did. You used to do like full-on toys and then overnight it all stopped and you went and did like conferences and conventions. And so, yes, I can completely see you doing that. I think that's what the people would want. I think the people would love to join you and your friends for a watch-along. Honestly, and if it turned out it was like a mop and a broom and stuff, that'd be even better, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be pretty good. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what the future brings us because we still are in COVID times. I don't want to do a Zoom watch along. I'm not one of those people.
Yeah. They're. I mean, I wouldn't want to do one of those with more than just you either. In all fairness, flip. We only just get this show on the road, so.
Third party, not gonna happen. Yeah.
Right. There was an article that was talking about the Undertaker's streak, and it was talking about who should have ended the streak. This was a poll of all of Undertaker's opponents that faced him at WrestleMania. And I've got the top 3 that were voted for. There was over 2,000 votes cast. And this is the top 3 people that should have ended Undertaker's streak. Now, they haven't included anyone that didn't face him at WrestleMania. It's just those that did. But I thought this was quite interesting because, unsurprisingly, Brock Lesnar doesn't make the top 3. So, in at number 3, with 15%, is CM Punk. CM Punk, they would have wanted CM Punk to have ended the streak. That would have been WrestleMania 29. So that would have been the year before the streak actually ended. Number 2, they went 22% with Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, WrestleMania 33. That was the number 2 pick. Can you guess what number 1 was? It's very, very easy.
Is it Shawn Michaels?
Oh, do you know what? That's a really good guess. I actually didn't see where Shawn was. I should have checked the Shawn ones. It wasn't. It was Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt. WrestleMania 31. 29% of the vote. 29% of those people that voted that Bray Wyatt should have been the person to have ended the streak. What's your thoughts on that? That's
absolutely not.
No,
that's heresy. I wouldn't want to see that neckbeard taking my Undertaker streak.
So you're okay with Brock over Bray?
I would rather All Elite Scooby-Doo take a streak.
Could I just say, I think I've seen about half of those cameo videos now. They are so flipping funny. They are so funny. They are. You've got to watch them. If you've not seen them, you could actually use them as a laugh or you'll lose kind of video challenge, because there's no way you can watch them without bursting out laughing. There is no way. There is no way, because he's in his long jacket and he looks down and he looks up and he always stares and delivers the lines that way. Hello, Granny. It's so good. It's one of my favorite
beautiful.
things I've seen. Honestly, it's probably Vince's Christmas gift to the world. Let's put it that way. So, yeah. So I was surprised at that. I think when I clicked on that article, I expected it to be Bray because he's so popular right now, and it tends to be whoever's popular at the moment. I do think that Bray did make sense. What with the whole new face of fear. The only thing I would say with Bray, and we have said this before, I think we even said it during, was it the WrestleMania episode? Can't quite remember that we did, but you can give Bray the end of the streak, but that is not good enough unless you follow it up with really solid booking. There's no point Bray being given the end of the streak and then everything else happened that happened. His character did not work. You can say it's the booking, and that's fine. You can say it's Vince, and that's fine. You can put the blame on Bray and his in-ring work, that's fine. You can say that the promos didn't quite land, whatever, right? Whatever the reasons, a little bit of everything, whatever. I don't care. The facts are, it didn't work. In actuality, it didn't work. So he had to go away, reinvent himself, and now we've got the Funhouse, we've got the Fiend, we've got all of that. Had he have beaten the streak, would you have got the Fiend? Would you have got the Funhouse? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. He might have just stayed in that character. Would he have been booked better after? You would hope so, but the answer is I don't know. So I don't know. I'm torn on it. I understand why people went for it, but I think there's so much more to it than it should have been Bray. Like, you'd have to have followed it up with some really, really strong booking, but it's one of those that's kind of interesting to get your teeth into and throw around.
I agree. Did you see the special on Liv Morgan?
No, have you seen it? I haven't seen it. I know it exists.
I don't have the network. Yeah, I heard that it's really interesting, to say the least.
Okay, what have you heard?
That it's just like a really interesting look at WWE backstage politics for someone that's just kind of been sidelined, and they don't really know why she's the one getting a documentary because she's not really prevalent in any major storyline and hasn't really been during her whole main roster career.
Yeah. I mean, I can't answer why she's got the documentary. I'm not down on her having a documentary. I know she's got a big fan base, so I mean, like, Keith Lee's getting a little summit as well. He's only just come up. I kind of think that they're really just cycling through a lot of different superstars. So I think it's just like her time to have a documentary. And like, you know, eventually Ruby Riott will get one, and eventually Dolph will have one, and everyone will have one. But yeah, I've not seen it. It's actually on my list of things to watch tonight. I've got a few things that I want to try and get through tonight and catch up with. So I do want to watch that, 'cause I have had a few people asking. So I don't know. I can't sit here and say I recommend it or don't recommend it, but
gotta wait till next week.
The one thing I can say is that they always deliver on their documentaries. I don't think I've ever seen a bad WWE documentary. I really don't. Then the network knocks it out of the park all the time. So I should imagine this is going to be quite real, quite gritty. I think it will get across her frustrations with how she's being used. I think that it will probably build up quite a bit of sympathy for her. The only downside with the Liv documentary is that I don't know where the payoff is. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no happy ending, because she's still just bobbing around. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, had she have like gone on to have a big, I don't know, perhaps they've made a big deal about her rejoining with Ruby in the Riot Squad or something, and maybe they've made it like she's back home now. I feel like I've got my friend back, and maybe they've used that as the ending, but in actuality, you know, she hasn't. It's not as if she's won that championship yet, or kind of reached the. It is a weird subject, isn't it? But
it very much so.
But yeah, I mean, okay. I said it's on my list of things to watch tonight, and I have heard people saying good stuff about it.
Speaking of people saying good stuff, I just want to give a shout out to the latest 5-star rating. And speaking of 5-star ratings, no one be shy. Don't be shy. 5-star ratings is the least we'll accept on Apple Podcast. This is from LSW. Amazing podcast. This podcast is literally amazing, and I always have fun watching it, which is a very weird comment to leave on Apple Podcast because you can't watch it on Apple Podcast.
So we got what you're upset about this, aren't you? That we only got one 5-star review.
I'm extremely upset. Yeah,
I'm over the moon. I can't believe anyone listens to this. Honestly.
Well, I have some.
I'm just chuffed anyone joins us.
Some big analytics that we need to start, figuring out how we're producing content around is I found out that the majority of time people usually listen to our podcast.
Okay.
It is 50 seconds. So we should try and have our episodes be about 45 seconds long.
Okay, well, we could try that next week.
Yeah.
And then that would mean that we would be getting, 100% watch time?
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
That'd be something to put on a shirt. Wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah. Could put that on my CV.
Watch time. Boom.
Yeah. Finally. It's what all YouTubers want.
Yeah. The most listened to podcast in the world.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, well, it would be because, yeah. We can talk about this away from the... I don't want to reveal too much. I don't want to reveal too many of the secrets.
Yeah, there are lots of secrets.
I do think the fact that we do literally just sit down and just start having a conversation, don't do any prep whatsoever, and just hope for the best, might also explain a few things. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If we put any effort into this, then maybe we'd be able to retain people for longer than 50 seconds.
That would be awesome. I see people in the chat saying that they were gonna write a review, but they decided not to. What? It's just like me deciding to watch AEW Dark and then deciding not to. So I get that. I understand. I've been that way.
Talking of AEW, we've got Winter is coming. Will you be keeping an eye on those results, or is AEW just not really on your radar?
It's not really on my radar.
Okay.
I will see who wins between Moxley and Omega.
Yeah.
You watch that, yeah?
Yeah.
Has Omega been living up to his promise that he wants to be back to New Japan style wrestling? Caliber.
No.
Oh, that's a shame.
But in all fairness, he's not really been tested too much. He had a couple of matches in like a tournament to establish the number one contender. And the matches were fine, but they didn't stand anywhere near like what he was doing in New Japan. But I suppose in a way, are you going to get that on a Wednesday night Dynamite? I mean, commercials kind of really get in the way. It's really hard to have incredible TV matches because just as you're getting into it, you cut to commercial. And plus also, because there's so many segments you've got to fit in, if you're going to have an incredible match, you need to kind of plan it in advance because you're not having a great match in one segment. You could argue you're not having a great match in two segments, so it's got to have time. It really should be commercial free, but that's not that possible. So all the stars have kind of got to align for it to work on TV. I suppose that's the downside of this week's AEW is that it is just a kind of dressed up Dynamite, isn't it? It's Winter is coming, but it's Dynamite. It's not as if it's on a Sunday and it's a pay-per-view. So I do think that they will go into this one, though, hoping to deliver an incredible match. I can see it being given time. I would hope, because they have done it before, where they actually make it commercial free. So I don't know if they have to pay extra money to not have the commercial break, or if they move the commercial breaks, or how it actually happens. But I think if they go into it with the mindset of making this the match that we all hope it's going to be, then, I'll tell you next week if it was any good. But I mean, like, it's good that he's back to like being single star. I think there's probably a degree of ring rust, because he'd been a tag wrestler for a little while. So a little bit of like solo ring rust. And and as I said, the matches weren't like bad. I think he got a squash match in his first round. I'm sure he won.
Yeah.
His first round
Sonny
against
Kiss.
Sonny Kiss in like just seconds, so you can't count that.
Well, to be fair, they probably looked at the analytics and realized that watch time for his matches are around 8 seconds, so they decided to have the most watched match.
That was the most watched match ever. No one left. They didn't even have time to change the channel. That's the future of content.
Yeah.
Don't give people chance to change the channel or leave on YouTube. Just make sure your content is that short that it just does what it needs to do and it goes. So
if your match doesn't fit in like a Vine or a TikTok, get out of here.
Get out of
here. We don't need it.
TikTok wrestling, could you imagine that? Why has no one done that, Tommy? What have you just invented? I'll tell you what you've invented. The greatest idea in the history of ideas. Flipping TikTok wrestling.
Yeah. It's coming soon.
Triple T presents Double T. W. Triple T presents Double T W.
Oh, TikTok, yeah.
TikTok wrestling.
Yeah.
Tommy Toy Travels. TikTok wrestling. What's quadruple? Hang on, what's 5? Quad is
Penta?
4. Is it Hector? Who's Hector?
Yeah, maybe.
Who's Hector? Is he some old guy that lives with you? Hector, how many's 5? Well, in my day, thanks, Hector. No, what is it?
Sunny Wolf is correcting us. And destroying our dreams. There is TikTok wrestling.
Huh? What do you mean? It exists. There is TikTok wrestling. You just need to find it. What do you mean?
In our hearts. We just need to find it in our hearts. I'm assuming that's what she means.
That's nice. That's nice. But hang on.
That's
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Hang on. TikTok
Sunny
wrestling.
Wolf, please respond.
Yes, Sunny. This whole thing. I even forgot there was people watching. This whole thing now rests on you. Hello, everyone. By the way. This straight up was just a conversation between you and me. And then when you said there was people watching, I was like, oh God, yeah, you're right. Okay, well, I need to know about TikTok. So how do they do that? Is it people? Is it figures? Is it animation? Is it a match in 30 seconds? Is it like part 1 is a little clip and you have to go to another to get part 2? Is it just moves? Is it, what is it? Hang on. There's Mafia TikTok, Witch Talk, Cosplay TikTok, Wrestling TikTok. You just need to use it for the hashtags. Okay, yeah, but Wrestling TikTok, is that not just going to be people that are like doing impressions? Or people that are cosplaying? Or, do you know what I mean? It's not actual, it's not the graps, is it? It's not the actual graps.
Yeah, I'm talking 6-second matches.
Yes. 6-second matches. That is so... I am so into that idea. Do you know...
How much do you think you'd have to pay wrestlers for those matches?
Well, I would guess you would have to pay them a normal amount, but
okay.
you would just... All right, then, fine. But you would get lots of matches out of them.
Yeah.
So rather than paying them to do one match for like
tell them
I'm
filming a 7 out of 8 falls.
No, I'd just be like, thank you for agreeing to this. I know I didn't quite explain it that well on the phone, but we need you to do like little 10-second max matches. So that means I need roughly 100 matches from you today.
Yeah. Well, the pin would
I know it sounds a lot, but honestly, you'll only be here half an hour, so don't worry about it.
Because the pins are what, 3 seconds long? So that's half the footage.
Yeah.
I don't know about this idea anymore.
No, I'm into it. I think there's a way around it. I think there's definitely a way around it.
And then we could have our big like WrestleMania-esque show at Savers.
Oh yes. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna flesh this out. I'm gonna think about this. This is gonna stew away. It's such a clever idea.
You have some contacts in the UK wrestling scene, maybe some moms here and there that you can ask for a favor. Just be like, hey, I remember that time I was trying to meet that wrestler and I couldn't because of you.
Oh,
You owe me.
I didn't know where you was going then. I was like, you know some moms. I was like, well, yeah, I know my mom. And then I was like, are we making moms wrestle? Is that what TikTok wrestling is? We're going to make moms wrestle?
Unless the moms want to wrestle.
Okay. Okay. Right. So we've spoke about Mia Yim. We're going to jump into the chat in a sec. But I just want to make sure that I've boxed off everything that I had. Slammies are coming back. I don't know if you heard about this.
No way.
Yeah.
Are they going to be legit this time? Are they going to give them to podcasters?
I hope not, because we don't stand a chance.
Open up that wallet and maybe we will.
I can't. No,
I'll put in $5. I don't know what that is in UK money, but I'll.
That sweet dough is going towards TikTok wrestling. I'm not spending that on bribing for a slammy. So yeah, the slammies are coming back, but they haven't said what they actually are. Unfortunately, we just know the show's coming. So I don't know. I don't know if it's.
Do you think it'll be like? Is there like there's this really popular American show called The Office. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's really kind of an American thing. And there's an episode called The Dundies where it's really funny, a fake award show.
And they're at a restaurant.
Do you think the Slammies will kind of be like that?
Like the Dundies, yes, I do. Yeah. I can see it being. I wish it was held in a restaurant. I wish they had anyone as entertaining as half of the characters from that show. Can I just say, I always thought the US version was better than the UK version.
Legit,
yeah. I always thought it was better.
Whoa.
The UK one was like really dry, very dry, very cringe. Like you watched it, like and like the humor was there, but it was hard to enjoy it because your whole body was like tensing up at the same time. So you're like, this is so funny, and that was like how I watched the UK Office. But with the US Office, I found I could just like relax and enjoy it a lot more. That makes sense. I seem to remember like the first seasons of The Office were like exactly the same as the UK one. I think it was like literally script copies. But then obviously it ran for longer, and some of the original episodes so good. But when Steve Carell left, I think it did suffer.
I agree.
Yeah, but I love the American Office. I really was a massive fan of that show.
Good show. So, there's an Indian one now.
Is there? Is there an Indian one?
Yeah.
Oh, have you? And is it good?
I've found it, but without subtitles. So.
Oh, you don't
doesn't
speak
really
Indian?
help me. No, I don't. Yeah.
I would say I'll check it out, but I also don't speak. It's a fun little fact about us. Neither of us speak Indian. So, yeah, we would struggle there. The other thing that I've got written down before we throw over to the chat for like the final 20 minutes or so. The sword. Do you remember I was telling you about Drew and he had his sword?
Yeah. Has it become like a lightsaber yet?
No, it's still a sword.
Okay.
But there's a little bit more information on the sword. The sword belongs to Vince McMahon. It is actually Vince's sword.
Are you telling me that Vince is one of those people that goes to anime conventions to get samurai swords and then hangs it up in his bedroom?
Yeah. What I'm saying to you is Vince McMahon likes to wear little crop tops. He likes to basically dress up like Chun-Li out of Street Fighter. Mm-hmm. He likes to go to anime conventions, and he likes to go, ah, like this, because I think that's kind of like an anime sound.
That's what, I've seen anime.
Ah!
And then when he sees Linda McMahon, he gets a nosebleed.
He gets a nosebleed, and he goes very shy, and he hides behind a trestle table, and then... and then he likes to buy any kind of random props that are around because he's a billionaire and he can. So he bought a sword. But in actuality, that's not what happened. What actually happened was that is his sword, but it was bought for him by Triple H and Steph when they were in Scotland. So they went to Scotland. They somehow went to a sword shop. I just don't. I can't even get my head around it. They're in Scotland. We're like, should we go to that sword shop? Yeah, all right then. So they went to the sword shop, and they were like, look at that sword. Vince would love that, and they bought it, and it's Vince's sword. And someone backstage said to Drew, you would look awesome if you came out with a sword. And he's like, I obviously haven't got one. And Vince was there, and he was like, I've got one. And I don't know if it was. I doubt it was with him. I don't know. Do you think it was just down the side or something? He's like, I've got one.
Was it ever?
I don't know. I don't know where the sword came from. I mean, like, must have been out of his office. He's got dinosaur bones on his wall and in his body. But on his wall, he has got dinosaur bones.
And does he move it every taping? Like, does he bring the sword and the bones with him?
Oh, I don't think he brings the bones, but he brings the sword for Drew. But yeah, I was like, no way, legit. I'm not lying. That is Vince's sword.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, wow, incredible.
That's incredible.
Austin316 says Vince has the power.
He-Man reference, right?
Yeah, He-Man reference.
Yeah.
Right, John, let's throw over. Was there anything you wanted to chuck in? Because we'll give the little folk.
Oh, I just want to talk about just a little tidbit. Big news, big news.
Okay.
Salute, a tribute to the troops. It's gonna have a musical artist.
I thought you was doing it now. So
no,
big news, tribute to the troops. I've got one right now. Here we go. I was like, okay. All of a sudden, I was like a proud mom. I was like, oh.
No, I'm not.
Oh, say, can you see?
You were close. You were so close. You could have auto-tuned that so well. Yes. We will on the Apple Podcast version.
Oh yeah.
People won't know.
Those 5 stars are coming in.
Yeah. So the guy's name, like I was reading the article, the press release, whatever. Like the musical guest's name is Hardy, and I was like, oh, they got Jeff Hardy. But there's just some dude named Hardy that they got to play music for the troops. And it's not Jeff Hardy's band.
I'd like to think that it's like the third brother and the parents just couldn't be bothered to give it a name. Do you know what I mean? Like the first kid came out and they were like, yeah, this guy, he looks cool, he looks smart, we'll call him Matt. And then the next one came along, it's like, whoa, he's a bit edgy, we'll call him Jeff. And then this other one came out and he had no personality. And he just kind of, do you know what I mean? When he was born, he just kind of like flopped there and stayed there like that. And they were like, let's just call him Hardy. We'll just leave it. I don't know what he looks like. He's not really doing anything, is he? So we'll call him Hardy. And he ended up having quite a successful country music career. So there we go.
Yeah. So look forward to the third Hardy.
The third Hardy coming in to do a little number. So they haven't announced any matches for that tribute to the troops. Nothing.
Undertaker is gonna wrestle.
That'd be brilliant. Undertaker wrestles, and everyone's like, "Didn't we say goodbye to him?" We're like, no, no. Sorry, I don't remember that. Yeah, that'd be. Oh my god, that'd be so good. That would be so flipping good. They should just put him in there with some random jobber. Just like completely uninspiring Undertaker match that's got no purpose, serves no benefit. I'd love that.
Well, the way I see it is if they can if they can break open their wallet for the Saudi Arabia shows, they better open up that wallet for the troop shows. Just saying. We gotta get Shawn Michaels. We gotta get The Rock. We gotta get Kane. We gotta get everyone for this. Hogan.
It's only on for an hour, apparently.
TikTok level matches. Let's go.
Yes, TikTok match. We need. Oh my god, perhaps that's their idea. Perhaps they are going to do TikTok wrestling, and they only needed an hour. Yeah, but the thing is that it's an hour. I am still hoping to do a watch along for it on the Days channel. But the problem is it's on Fox and I haven't got Fox. So I'm going to have to try and find Fox somewhere. But I just don't know what to expect. I don't know what to expect from it. Well, apart from a Hardy performance, but I think it's going to be in the. My guess is it's in the Thunderdome because there's no way they're going to like a military base with COVID. So I'm guessing it's in the Thunderdome. All of the screens will be given over to military personnel. So so they'll do it that way. They'll probably have a few decorations, bit of camo on the edge of the ring and stuff like this, you know. But I don't actually know what I'm going to be watching. Like definitely a video package that's planes flying and definitely an eagle at some point. And then the Hardy performance, and there's got to be some kind of match. There's probably going to be so underwhelming that it'll make me question life. It'll probably be like Elias versus Mansoor or something like this. So don't know. Not don't know what to expect. But that is.
So
this,
I might be hyping it too much.
Well,
saying Undertaker and The Rock and Shawn Michaels.
I mean, yes. If anyone is expecting that, then yes, it is being hyped too much. I think you'd be lucky to get Lacey Evans. Oh, actually, no. You will definitely get Lacey Evans of all the stars. You are definitely getting Lacey Evans.
Of course.
Definitely getting Lacey Evans.
Against Trish Stratus and Lita, triple threat.
Yeah. We'll file that under let's wait and see.
Okay.
Big match Mansoor, says BOD Talks. Yes. Bobby DL says the US office and the US Shameless are better than the UK office and UK Shameless. I never watched Shameless. I never saw the UK or the American one. I was aware of the UK. Well, I was aware of both, but I managed to catch a little of the UK one, and I was like, yeah, it's not for me. It's not my.
What about
not my kind of
whose line is it anyway?
I watched the. That's such a good question. Do you know what? In the 90s, there was a bald guy and a taller guy with like quite a funny face. They were kind of like, he had curly hair.
Yeah.
Do you know the two I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Right, boom, there we go. So those two, I believe, came over and did the UK version as well. So I used to watch that used to be on, I think, a Friday night on Channel 4, quite late at night, like 10:30ish, whatever. And I'm sure it was like the 90s, and I loved that show. I absolutely, but I never knew. I knew they were American, you could tell, because they were zany. You could tell. But it wasn't until years later I found out that there was an American version. I didn't even know that it was an American show. So then years later I found out. And then I found out they were on it as well. So, I love it. But I've never seen much of the US one. How long ago was the US one?
I think it's still going. Like, it paused for a little bit, but they brought it back.
Well, the UK one was around, I want to say, like late 90s into the early 2000s. I don't believe it was any later than that. I'm fairly sure it was around that time. Probably ran for, off the top of my head, about 4 years, something like that. 5 years, and then we haven't had it since. I've never even seen replays of it, to be honest, but such a funny show, so good. Dang. And it's really the kind of humor that I appreciate as well, because it's all improvised. It's all like, here's a wacky object, how can you make something funny out of it? And that I love that kind of humor. Like, just being given something random, it's like, go, what you gonna do? So, you might have inspired me to try and find some of those episodes.
Cool.
Yeah.
David Paul in the chat is giving you all the names of the people. Clive Anderson used to host
that was the host,
version.
yes. That was the
Ryan
host.
Styles was the guy, the tall guy, and Colin Mockery was the bald guy, I think.
You're right. Ryan and Colin, you are right, yes. And you, yes, I mean, you are completely right. Clive Anderson was the host that I was thinking of. And it was really weird to see them same people be on like the American version, because it kind of, I was like, is that all they do? It's like, literally, they were just known for that? Were they literally just doing the UK and the American versions? I mean, like, that must have took up a lot of their time, in all fairness. So, yes. Yeah, I should imagine that's pretty much all they were known for. Well, they probably had stand-up shows as well, but no, brilliant comedians. Really enjoyed it. John, what made you ask that, by the way?
Because I was flipping through TV shows on certain streaming platforms, and they had the UK. Whose line is this anyway? I think it's Tubi. TUBI has it for free. I don't know if you have a VPN or if it's available in the UK, but that's one way to watch it.
All right. Have you ever seen them? The UK one?
No. It was just like a few minutes or an hour before this, and I was like, yo.
Right, if you, I really recommend them because they're the only ones that I've seen, and so my only point of reference for Whose Line Is It Anyway is the UK version, and it was so good, so funny. So, but you might, I don't know, you might watch it, and it could turn out that some of the objects and things are maybe the same. Do you know what I mean? It could be a big conspiracy, couldn't it?
Could be.
Do you know
could be like the first episode of The Office.
Yes, just like that. I loved both versions of Whose Line Is It Anyway, says Heather. John Cena Gamer says, tell Triple T about your special blanket. Yeah, WWE sent this through. So there's someone at must be on some kind of database somewhere at WWE. Well, I should imagine on quite a few of their databases. Right?
Are you telling me you got an in with WWE?
Well, I've got a tiny in. Tiny in, right?
Do you think you could let them? Do you think you could ask them if we could just a little question of getting us a Slammy? Maybe.
I can certainly ask the question. I'll be like, no, this might be asking a little bit too much. I'm not too sure, but is there any way at all that we could take maybe the first hour of WrestleMania just to? just to, it would really help our views, right? It would really help. We're trying to get our watch time over a minute.
Yeah.
and that kind of platform would really help us.
It would.
No, where it came from was last year. Well, I'll tell you where it's come from. It's come from Wrestling Shop. So because of doing Wrestling Shop, they obviously have connections with WWE. Because obviously they get the figures come in, they've got great connections with Mattel, they kind of move in those circles. So as a result, because all the graphics for Wrestling Shop come from WWE, they've got connections.
Oh, yeah.
So as a result, WWE actually came to Wrestling Shop a few times whilst I was there. And just like said hello, I mean, it wasn't Vince or anyone, it was just like random people in suits. But, you know, you say hello to a few people, you give details, whatever, and that's it. And they've not really done much, in all fairness, but they did, in all fairness, they did last year get in touch with me and say, completely out of the blue, would you like to interview a couple of superstars when they come over? So that was completely out of the blue, right? So I ended up doing an interview with Strowman and Cesaro, and that was awesome. It was great, had a wonderful time. They were in like... you know, like when you go to a shop, like Walmart, and you meet someone. So basically it was one of those. So I was at the store, but before they went out, I managed to grab 5 minutes with them, do a quick interview. Then they go out and meet the fans and everything. So that's how that worked. And that was great. But obviously they're not over here all the time. So did those couple, and then there wasn't really anything else. The tour in November was very short, and I don't even think they might have done the odd meet or greet, but it was nothing. The April tour tends to be the big one, just after Mania. So this year, obviously, the pandemic hit, so there was no tour. They didn't come over, so there was nothing happening. But they've still been in touch a few times, and they've been kind enough to say, we'll send you a few bits if you'd mind just showing them off on the channel. Yeah. So anyway, randomly, out the blue, a package comes, and it's from WWE, and it's these things, this blanket thing here, look, I'll show you, and it's apparently made out of Sherpas, which I found out are people there are people that are straight. It's true. There are people called Sherpas, and this is made of Sherpa skin. I mean, like, I live it. My life is I've got WWE sending me, like, Drew McIntyre branded, right, blankets made out of people's skin. That's the life that I'm leading. So I've got,
wow.
and they sent me a pillow as well, which is Asuka. There we go. We got an Asuka one as well. So I got an Asuka person pillow. I got a Drew McIntyre person blanket as well. So I very much think I'm living my best life at the moment.
Yeah.
So
dang,
yeah.
I'm real envious. I'm even leaning into jealous territory.
Whoa. Well,
yeah.
Don't be, because I mean, like, I'm sure you've got some wonderful blankets as well.
Well, everyone knows I have my Spidey blankie. So.
Yes. I mean, nothing's going to get to that level.
And I do have a pillow with my face on it. So.
Hey, have I ever shown you the Fiend that I've got? Have I ever shown you the Fiend? I must have. Hang on.
No.
Have I ever shown you this fella?
Is it upside down?
It's upside down. Yeah. Have you never seen this guy?
No.
Oh my God.
What is that?
What do you mean?
Did they? Why did they stretch your face so much?
Yeah, why did they stretch my face so much?
The dream.
This is the dream, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is beautiful. Loving it. And do you know what's good as well is that even though I am behind it, I can still see it. It's both sides. Both sides. There's no escape. Can you imagine though, waking up, right? Imagine like you're fast asleep. You've got your person blanket. You got your person pillow like this. And you're fast asleep like this. And then all of a sudden you feel a little tap. And you open your eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we. So, yeah, that's called, what's that called? It's called Snugsy. And they've got loads of different ones. You can be people like Joe Exotic.
Okay.
And you can be like loads of different wrestlers. And, yeah. Oh, I'd love it. Imagine if there was like a Tommy Toy Travels on there that I could be. I could put my face on your body. Imagine that.
Wow.
Can I just say as well, perfect for Christmas.
Yeah.
Because who doesn't want my face?
And while we're at it, you know what else is perfect for Christmas? WWE branded pillows and blankets.
Yes.
And 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts for the spot.
Yes. 5-star. This deserves 5 stars because we have been everywhere. We have been searching for entertainment during this podcast, high and low. I think we found it in multiple places.
Absolutely.
I really do.
Wherein last week we talked about 75% Bachelorette. This one was definitely 75% maybe wrestling. So
maybe wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like the fact that people could listen to this and go, "What's it about?" Well, maybe wrestling. It's really hard to categorize. Maybe we should call it the maybe wrestling escape pod.
Yeah.
Lol. Right. Yes, we're done. We've got to let Tommy go anyway because he's got to go.
Yeah, I got the Bachelorette.
Are you going to ask your friends if they will be up for doing a live watch along on your channel? Will you just give us the satisfaction knowing that will come up in conversation? For
you guys, sure.
Yes. So will we find out next week what they said?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. So now people have got a reason to join us again next week. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Really do appreciate the support. I hope you enjoyed our little conversation that we had. And yeah, as we said, we will be back this time next week to find out if there will be a Bachelorette watch along. Awesome, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. Boom. Done, mate.
All right. Take